slide. Now we're going to transform. Okay, we loaded the data, which was a simple step. Now, when loading the data, since it was an Excel sheet, it was a very quick process where you were loading it. But if it's a more complicated, you can try connecting to a SQL server or Google Analytics, or for example, social media, Facebook, and those kind of things. There, the loading data may not be as simple as what you did for the Excel. You may have to enter, some user ID, password, if there is some level of authentication that happens when connecting to a database, right? You'll have a user ID, password, and that kind of stuff. So it's all pretty straightforward. The steps are a bit different slightly, but you'll be able to figure it out. However, I'll be there to help you in case you have any other specific challenges. Now, we're going to talk about the three different modes of view in Power BI. One is the report view. Okay. Report view is where you create all the charts, the stunning visualizations, the pie charts, bar graphs, and all of that. That white canvas that we saw when I was sharing my screen, that white canvas, that is the report view. Okay. And you're able to also select which fields. Field is basically any column in your Excel sheet. That one column is a field. Okay. A field can be of two types. It can be a dimension or a metric. Okay. What is the dimension? Dimension is categorical data, okay, which is like, for example, location, country, city, state, or product, product type. All of that is dimension or categorical data. Whereas metrics are basically the numerical data, which you can take a sum of, you can take an average of, that is all, sales, profit, margin, revenue, loss, all of those numbers, visits, impressions, clicks, a lot of those different types of numbers based on metrics, based on the different data sets you'll be looking at. But that's measures. Okay. So fields is basically a combination of all these metrics and dimensions. Basically, a column in your Excel sheet is what you call a field. You can also have, filters, and you can manage multiple pages, like, since Power BI is a Microsoft product, you'll see a similar way like your Excel, where you are able to see multiple, you can have, add multiple new pages, like you have different sheets in an Excel sheet. There's also the data view, okay, which helps you to explore and understand the data. So it shows the different preview mode, and we'll go back to Power BI and look at all of this. Okay. You can apply filters similar to how you can apply in Excel. So do that as well. And then you have the model view, which is, you can use to simplify, complex models. You can create a lot of relationships and all. Then we are going to also talk about, so let me do one thing. In fact, let me go back before we talk about all of this. I think it's better to show you guys in the Power BI interface. So this is where we have the three tabs. You see my screen, great. So on the left, you can see these three different panel, or these three different icons that I was talking about. This is the report view, where you get all the, you can add pages just like your Excel sheet, just like I'm keeping on adding pages. I don't need this, I'm going to delete it now. So I just added a lot of pages which I don't need. You can easily delete it by clicking on the cross icon there. And a lot of places right click also works, where you can rename, duplicate, hide, or delete, similar to how you would see options in your Excel. Okay, so this is my report view. Okay, I'm gonna rename this page. I can double click and rename, just like how I do in Excel. I did not intend to rename it as rename, but I'll rename it to something else, which says report. And this is the other view, where I can take a look at how my data actually looks like. This is like a preview. You remember how when you were loading the data, you saw a preview mode, right? So this is a similar kind of preview mode, where it shows, what kind of data is there. And then there is this relationships model, or the model view, where, right now we have only one source. I can move this around, but if there is another source, I'll be able to mix and match it up. So which we will talk about in, I think, the next session. So today we're going to work with one single table. So these are the three different views that we're talking about. Here you see the fields. There you also have a visualizations pane, which has the different type of charts and all of that. We will come to that, don't worry about it. And you have also the filters pane. Okay, taking a quick look at the chat. Okay, oh yeah, average is missing in pie chart. There were two mediocre in it. Yes, that was a good and interesting observation. You need to have an eye for detail. Thanks for calling that out. Okay, so now we have all of this. Now what we're going to do is go and make some changes in the data that we loaded already, which is the multi-level data, that Excel sheet. We're going to transform some data, make some data manipulations there. Okay, clean it up a bit. Okay, apologies. So how I can do that is I can click on this edit queries button. So now don't go and click on this, just you may want to pay attention while I do it at my side. Okay, and then we can all do it together. So what you can do is click on edit queries, and then you will get a new window. So this new window is called the Power Query Editor. Okay, so it opens up, if you can see, it opens up as another tab. It opens up in a new window, and this is exactly where you would have come if you had, while clicking on load and transform. If you remember, while you're loading the file, there were two options, load and transform. If you click on transform, this is where you will come, where you are in the query editor. Okay, what do you mean by query editor? So it's a Power Query Editor. Query is basically any connection that you are making with, from Power BI to your data source. That's a query. Okay, so you can see there are a list of queries here, which is only one query here, which is the sheet that we linked with. If we linked with 5 Excel sheets, it would show 5 queries in here. So every data source that you're connecting to is a query in Power BI. Okay, on the right side you see this query settings. It has the properties, the name, all properties, and a lot of our query editor. Okay, so edit queries will get active only once you load your data. If you're not able to see it, check out the other tabs. It's possible that in a different version, the options have been moved a bit here and there. So check in the other tabs. Okay, the new version doesn't have it. It should be there in a different tab maybe. Can you check the other tabs in maybe other tabs? Can you find it in the other tabs quickly? You'll find a edit queries or a query editor. Okay, it's going to be the same. But yeah, here if you go to the query editor window, now you see there are a list of steps that are here, which is the set of applied steps. Okay, so applied steps is basically where it shows a path of what are the steps that have already been applied. So you know that these are steps that have already been applied. There was a source, from where you loaded the data. If you want to change the source at any point, you need to screen. So you can click on this gear icon and source and change. If the location of where your file was stored, if it changes, you can click on browse and change the the file from where it was stored. So that's one way you can change the file source. In navigation, it basically what it does is it shows, if you remember, this is the same step you performed where you choose a particular sheet within the Excel that you have to load, right? So that's the navigation. And then promoted headers and change type, you did not do this. Power BI did it on its own. So what it did is the first rows of the Excel sheet, it promoted them as the header or the column header, which you can see over here. Okay. And then it changed the type, which means, based on the values in a column, it changed the data type to a particular type, like if it's a number or a string, you can see the data type indications here, which says, here it says 1, 2, 3, which is like numeric data. Here it's ABC 1, 2, 3 because it has both ABC and 1, 2, 3, which is like a alphanumeric data set, right? You can change the data type by clicking here and changing it. There are different options that allows you to do that. You don't need to do that at this point. However, this is what Power BI has already done. Now, the best part about this applied steps is it always gives you a history of what are the steps that have been performed, and you are able to go back and change that at any point. Now, one of the problems that I'm facing right now is Seattle, Portland, and Vancouver are the city names. I don't want them to be the headers. I want them to be in another column which says city. Okay, that's how I would like to see my ideal data set, right? So what I'm going to do, and again, you don't need to copy or learn any of these steps. All of this is there in the exercise document. Please pay attention to the Zoom screen, understand how it's done, then go back and do it. I'll give you time to do it, okay? So I'm going to undo the last 2 set of steps. So I'm going to click the red delete icon here, change type and promoted header. So what happened is basically those steps were undone. So it's just like doing an undo. And here you can see that, the change type also reverted. So now all of them is ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay. And, the Seattle was promoted to the header, which came back to the first row. Okay. So this will now look exactly like your Excel sheet. Okay. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is transpose this entire sheet. Okay, transpose is basically, if you have learned metrics or the metrics operations, transpose is basically convert rows to columns and columns to rows. So it's like just swapping the rows and columns. How am I going to do that? I'll go to transform, and there's this option which says transpose. Okay, if you're not able to find something that says transpose, you'll be able to find an icon like this, which is when you hover over it, it will say transpose. Okay, I'm going to click transpose, and now when I did transpose, now all the cities came into one column. Okay, all the types, or this is something we can call this as category. Okay, all the there are three categories: bikes, accessories, and miscellaneous, but all the categories will came under one column. Now there's still a problem where, you know, the year is split across. Now I want year also under one column and then the quantity under one column. We'll fix that, but before doing that, what I'm going to do is eliminate this couple of nulls. I'm going to migrate all of this to the header. Okay, so there's this option which says use first row as headers. So I'm going to click on use first row as headers. What it does is it promoted all the headers. Along with that, it changed the data type also. So are there in first row. Okay, and then you have these couple of columns. So now I want to rename these columns as, you know, city. This is city, and this is category. Okay. Now the city column still has some problems. Why? Because all these three rows are Seattle. Okay, but it's showing me first one as Seattle and the other two as null. Now I need to fix that. How would I fix that? There's a simple data transformation step which allows me to fix this. All I need to do is there's this option called fill, and I can click fill down. Okay, when I do fill down, what happens is all the null values will take the value immediately above it. So with this null will take the value Seattle, this null will take the value Portland. Okay, make sure the column is selected and then you click on fill down. Okay, do the steps. Okay, so city category is sorted. Now the years is what I need to fix. So right now this is in a pivoted format, so like a pivot table. Okay, where you have everything separated out by the individual attributes. I want to make this come into an unpivoted format where I have one column which says year and another column which says value. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to select all the columns which has year. So when it shows yellow, it means that I have selected that column, and then I'm going to use my keyboard shortcut, which is shift and right key. Okay, I'm going to select all of the columns. Okay, so I did not select the first two columns because these are sorted. I just need to select the columns which has the years. Okay, all of that is selected. I need to unpivot this. So if I hover over these icons, I can find an option which says unpivot columns. Okay, into attribute value pair. So unpivot only selected columns. I'm going to select the option. Now what that does is it unpivots everything, which says, you know, attribute is 2005 and corresponding value, and it did the same for all of it. Now all I need to do is rename these two columns. So this is year, this is my quantity. So now the data has been transformed. Now the data is in a format which can be loaded into a dashboard, and you can easily create visualizations out of it without having any complexities. With the earlier way the Excel was, it would have been almost impossible to create a visualization because of how it is spread across different columns, and, you know, there's no different, everything is not sorted into a way which has, you know, one column with one set of data. This is one set of data set. Now we are going to do some more transformation. So I'm going to go back to my edit query screen. Okay. So I'm on the edit query screen. This is the first sheet that I had changed. Now I am going to add a column. Okay. So there's an option here, add column and a conditional column. So based on a condition, I'm going to add a column. Okay. So what is my need here? I know that the city value is already there. I'm also looking forward to have a country column. Okay. So let me name the column as country. And what is a conditional column? Conditional column is based on an if else clause. Okay. You would have seen an if else in like C, C++, you know, if this is a condition, if this condition satisfies, then this is the value. Okay. So based on one of the existing columns, which is city column, if city equals Seattle. Okay, we have Seattle, Portland, and Vancouver. Doing a Google search. Where is Portland located? It's in Oregon, USA. Okay. So Portland and Seattle are USA. Vancouver is in Canada. Okay. Now, if city equals Vancouver, I'm going to select Vancouver. City equals Vancouver, then the country should be Canada. Because I know all the others are USA, right? So Seattle and Portland are in USA, Vancouver is in Canada. So if city equals Vancouver, then Canada. If not, then USA. That's the clause. This is the conditional column that I'm going to add. Click on OK, and you see a new column that gets added, which gets added at the end. By default, it gets added as the last column. But you can see here now, whenever the data is, Seattle, it has USA. For all the other cities, it has, for Vancouver, it has Canada. For all the others, it has USA. Okay, so this is how you add a conditional column. I want this column to be at the first. So simple way I can do that, click here, drag and drop. Please don't try this on your Power BI screen yet. I'll give you time to do that. But here I'm going to do it on my screen. You can see it on the Zoom screen. Okay, I just dragged and dropped country from all the way from the right to the left. Okay, that's the simplest way I can do to reorder a column, right? Going back to the exercise sheet, just quickly look at, am I missing any steps here? Okay, now we want to deal with the date column, right? I think somebody mentioned that the year says it's ABC type. I want to change that to a date type, right? So that's what we are going to do here. Now I'm going to change the year data type to date. So one way I can do it very easily is from here, I can change it to a date. I can change it to date/time, but this one doesn't have a time associated with it. It doesn't have time zone also, it just has the date. So I can change it to date. That's one simple way I can do it. But here you see the problem. By default, the date was taken as January 1st, 2005, which is not what I was expecting to see, right? So I didn't want to, so this is again an assumption that Power BI is making, that when you convert something into a date call format, it has a date, month, and a year. And by default, if it doesn't have it, it will take it as 1/1. Okay. So now I'm going to fix this. How am I going to fix this? So as having selected this column, there's this date functionality here in the add column. Okay. I'm going to click on date, and in year, I can choose just the year from this date column, which will add a column which has only the year associated with it. Okay, and what I can do is maybe hide or remove this entire column. So I have a new column which says only the year, and which is now in the numeric data type. Okay, and it's not in your text data type anymore. Okay, this is one way I can do it. Now this is a year. So that's one of the steps that I had over here. Change the date and select the year. There's also other set of options that you can do here. Again, I'm going to take a quick look at chat. Repeat for year column again. How to add more than 2 conditions if there's more cities. Okay. In conditional, how to add more conditions, right? If I click on conditional column, there is something here called add clause. Okay, and then you can add else if any number of times. Okay, so you can add nested conditions. That's one way to do it. The year step, all I did is, okay, let me undo all of this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is change this. Okay, change type. I'm going to undo that also. So all I did is change the type of this to date, but then it took January 1/1/2005. Now there are different ways to do this, by the way. So if you have found a more shorter way to do it, that's also possible. So there are different ways to do it. And then I went to add column date and selected year. So I can also select different other things like month, start of month, quarter, week, day. All of this customization is possible. And then I selected year. I removed this column, and this particular year column that I have, I just named it to year. Okay, so that's all I did. There are a lot of other options that you get when you right click on a column. You can duplicate a column. You can remove the duplicates in a column, just have only unique values. Change type, transform. I want to change all of this to uppercase. It's all done. Now it's all in uppercase. You know, some of these steps you would have probably seen in other Microsoft tools like, you know, Word, Excel, or even PowerPoint, but that's because it's a Microsoft product. You can also apply filters using this. This is similar to how your Excel filters work. You know, I want to see the data only for accessories, so I'll see only for accessories. All of this is possible. Reverting to, okay, clear the filter, so it shows everything again. On right click, I can duplicate a column. So I can, you know, I just duplicated a column like you saw before when you added a conditional column. You know, it got added at the end. So now that duplicated column is there. I can just remove that column if I want. You know, all of those steps are present there. So I just create duplicated column, did remove. There's something in here called as enter data also. So I think someone was previously suggesting enter data. Enter data is when you want to manually enter some data and not use any data source. Okay. Obviously you wouldn't enter data when there is large size of data. It's just if you want to create a simple lookup table or something like that. Okay. So I'm going to enter data. And I'm going to enter some random data here, but what I'm going to do is enter something as simple as this. You can see it in the sheet, you know, alphanumeric. And I'm going to type A-1, B-2, C-3, E-4. Okay, this is just a new table that I created. I click on it, and you know, I want to name this as my lookup table. I'm just naming it randomly. Clicking on OK. So I just entered that data. You'll see that that is another query altogether. So it got created as another query where there is only one column which has this data. Now, why did I create the data like this? This is another example which I am using to split this into two columns. Okay. Now you see A, B, C, D has a meaning, which means it's like product A, product B, C, or D. And 1, 2, 3, 4 is basically something like a, you know, maybe a serial number. Okay. I want to separate this out into two columns. So for example, if you notice some product codes, they will have something like, you know, ABB-1234, and you want to separate out ABB into a different column because it has a different meaning. Or for example, number plates is a good example. If you have number plates, when it says MH01, it's a Maharashtrian number plate. So you want to split out MH into a different one, and you want to look up MH, use another table which has MH is Maharashtra, and use that lookup to bring the value Maharashtra into it for every number plate out there, right? DL would be Delhi, and so on and so forth. So you want to split that portion out, use a lookup to actually, you know, bring that data. So how do I split this column is basically what I'm trying to do. I want to split it using this hyphen as a breaking point. Okay. How do I do that? There's an option here called as split column by delimiter. That's what I'm going to do. The same operation is there in Excel also if you haven't used this. It is called from, you know, from data to, I think from data to columns or something like that. I don't remember the exact term, but it's there in Excel also. There's two ways I can do that. In transform, there is an option here somewhere which has split to delimiter. Oh, there you go. Split column by delimiter. And in that, what I'm going to do is add a custom delimiter. So Power BI automatically detected that the only delimiter that it has is the hyphen. What is a delimiter? It is something that is used to separate out text strings. What is a text string here? A is a text string. 1 is another text string. It is separated out by using this hyphen. You want to break it from there. So I'm going to use a custom delimiter, or there are already all of these delimiters. Usually you would see something like a comma separator. You know, CSV is nothing but a comma separated file. Semicolon, space, tab, all of these are used to separate out data as well. I want to split it leftmost delimiter, which is the one hyphen that appears at the leftmost. Here there's only one, so using left or right will not make any difference. Clicking on OK, I'm able to split this into two columns which has A, B, C, D and 1, 2, 3, 4. So that hyphen, which was the delimiter, gets removed entirely. You get two set of columns which has these values. So that's how you can perform the split by delimiter option. So like I said, there are multiple ways to do it. One is using the options in the transform tab. You can also do a right click and split column by delimiter. Okay. Going back. So all of these are basically some of the basic data transformation steps that I wanted to go through with you guys. There are a lot more of these. I would suggest or strongly recommend you guys to try the other data transformations also. But this is some basic data transformation steps. You can keep rows, remove rows, like for example, keep top 10 rows, remove everything else. Let's try it over here, right? Keep top rows. I want to keep only the top 2 rows. So only the A, B, these 2 rows will remain. If I click on OK, the other 2 rows went off. How do I bring it back? I just undo the step and it came back. Okay, all of this is possible. So it's a very good interface. You have the entire history here in steps.